People who work in luxury industries, five-star hotels, fine dining, high-end brands, what is a complete ripoff that rich people happily pay for? I once DJ'd in a casino in Macau. The VIP tables would competitively send bottles of champagne to each other's tables just to signal their wealth. It would be announced over the PA system, but nobody would get the champagne. The bottles never actually existed. It would be like, Table 10 sends 5 bottles of champagne to Table 4. Table 4 is sending 15 bottles of champagne to Table 10. Table 10 is sending 30 bottles of champagne to Table 4, etc. This kept on going until they were up to like 200 bottles of champagne. They weren't friends or anything. They were just showing their wealth off to this other table. They got a few symbolic bottles with indoor fireworks taken to the table by girls, but that's it. I asked the owner what it was about, and he said they can pick them up on another day if they want, but nobody ever does. It's purely for show. Insane. If someone were to show up the next day with a delivery truck to claim the champagne, would there be any double checking about who's claiming it? Asking the important questions. I'll rent the U-Haul and you drive. U-Haul. I drive. One of the more interesting ones is having expensive replicas made of priceless jewelry in case of theft. My surrogate dad in Nassau County, Long Island, knows of people who spend thousands and thousands of dollars on costume dupes of their best jewelry so they can wear that out and leave the real stuff at home under lock and key. Imagine a set of costume jewelry worth more than your vehicle. That sort of thing. About 20 years ago, I worked at a store that sold the fabulous fakes. The women would spend a few thousand on new vacation jewels, so they didn't have to worry about losing their real diamonds if they got robbed. Caskets and urns. I work in a fancier funeral home as support staff, not a director. We literally sell $80 urns imported from India for $600 plus. A $2,000 casket goes for $8,000. Remember that you are allowed under federal law to bring your own urn or casket. Sometimes I feel like there is more financial flexing at funerals than at weddings. My wife found a beautiful urn on Etsy that spoke to her for various aesthetic reasons. It was handmade in her mom's favorite color, etc. It was really meaningful for her. And cheap. Just because we're bereaved doesn't mean we're a bunch of saps. Order a casket on Amazon and have it delivered to the funeral home. No shame there. Order something big and just use the Amazon box for me. If you make your product rare. We are very small olive oil producers. We have all the machines to completely produce the oils ourselves. We work very clean and organic in a way that goes beyond any certificates, so we won't fool anyone on this side. But there is certain special oils that is the very early harvest or oil from wild olive trees. We have some wealthy customers. If we tell them we only have 10 liters of wild olive oil left, they want to buy it all, only to know that they have it and no one else. So we found ourselves lying sometimes about the amount of oil left. It makes certain rich people buy everything available just to have it. Exclusivity is a drug to the ultra-wealthy. My wife's friend is worth a couple billion, and he loves buying weird things where he has the only one in existence, just because. I'm weird, and there is only one of me. Let him know. I work for a high-end plumbing company. We do some truly enormous new residential builds. The difference between regular and high-end plumbing is purely aesthetic. All our pipes are meticulously organized and ran with non-flexible materials. We essentially do satisfying cable management, but for pipes. It looks nice and wealthy customers like nice-looking things. You guys usually do pro press or solder? I'm a steam fitter, but my girlfriend is a plumber. The drastic shift to pro press in plumbing for new install is wild to me, but I do understand why it's happening. We still solder. ProPress is easier and probably more reliable, but soldering has a better image among wealthier clients for some reason. My dad was a building inspector in a very affluent town for about 20 years. I used to love to hear his stories about the crazy stuff people would put into their houses. I think my personal favorites were the built-in marble bathtub with custom brass fixtures for the homeowner's dog and the guy who bought 2 separate houses in town on adjoining corner lots. So, next to each other but with 2 different street addresses, one for his wife and kids, one for his mistress. He had an underground tunnel built between them so the neighbors didn't see him going to and from the mistress' house. I can't make this stuff up. My billionaire real estate client was having me go back and forth with the selling realtor on a property over a $10,000 difference in what he wanted to pay on a multi-million-dollar vacant lot. He made a point of telling me he and his wife were sipping a $10,000 bottle of port while having me dick around over $10,000 on the property. Also, the most unhappy client I've ever had. Rich and unhappy ain't no way to live. It's not their time or emotional energy. They don't care if you have to pull an unpaid weekend to save them $10,000 to blow on a bottle of port in 2 weeks. I know the pain. Honestly, the markup on wine at fine dining restaurants is insane. I worked as a hostess and watched people drop $300 on bottles we got wholesale for like $40 without even blinking. Really no different with beer? Bottles $5 plus, drafts $7 plus, restaurant purchase price is probably not much more than $1. I used to run a bar. To get the employees to stop drinking a million different products without making my inventory tracking a nightmare, I offered up unlimited free PBR, a staff bottle of OK whiskey, and a staff bottle of any other OK liquor with the stipulation the liquor isn't necessarily unlimited. Staff would have access to those drinks for free, everything else at a discount. Not paying for other drinks was a terminable offense. Everyone was flabbergasted. I'll be losing money hand over fist. Why didn't they care when they were stealing product? I assured them it was fine. We could run it as an experiment. It's hard to drink enough PBR to make a bar lose money. A keg at the time was like $70, so about 50 cents a beer. PBR was $3 on the menu, so quite a profitable markup. If the bartender stopped breaking so many glasses. Private nurse to very wealthy people. Sounds like a necessity medical support, but most of the clients aren't sick. Just rich and able to do it? They like the attention. I've seen so much. Private jets, chauffeurs who sit outside in cars for days on end going nowhere. I watched a 90-year-old woman slather La Mer on her arms last week. It broke me. The amount of waste is staggering. Your industry is legit crazy sometimes. Oh yes, of course you need to be flown from Qatar to Germany on a specialized medical transport private jet just to have your lip filler removed by some German secret celebrity doc. Sure, rent out an entire floor of the 5-star hotel so you don't need to see people while your face is swollen. I work with those flying ambulance jets a lot. This story is absolutely not uncommon. Equipped to do super important intercontinental rescue missions and high-risk patient transfers, actually get used to carry mildly unwell people to well-paid specialty doctors. Clothing industry here. People will blindly pay a premium for items made in certain countries because they believe anything made in somewhere is so much better than anywhere else. Truth is country of manufacture means very little compared to what factory/workshop it's made in. Portugal, Turkey, Bosnia, Romania, and Moldova are generally considered countries with high-quality control standards, good wages, and actually having talented craftsmen. Truth is that Portugal and Turkey are significantly cheaper to manufacture a t-shirt/hoodie than Italy, Spain, France, or UK because they produce so many plus they have lower taxes for corporations. As for Bosnia, Romania, and Moldova, in a lot of cases Turkey too, this is where the sweatshops of Europe operate. Their labor is significantly cheaper than other European countries, and there's less things they are legally required to provide to workers, so they can get away paying someone half or less than they'd get in Italy or UK. Because of this, you also see way less skilled workers, and it's more like an assembly line that you'd find in an Asian or Latin American country. Also, it's not as expensive as people think to even produce in the good countries. Zara, Topman, and many other mall brands have lines made in Turkey, Portugal, or Peru. All countries known for really good cotton. Truth is the cost to make a tee there ranges from $3.50 to $20 generally depending how many you make and choice of material plus print process. It's nothing crazy and the rest is markup. Whether you want to pay the premium for the look or brand is up to you, but for example, Pangaia and Givenchy tee or hoodies are produced in the same Portuguese workshop. Pangaia averages around $50 a tee while Givenchy is $700. While Givenchy does use nicer fabric and a more luxurious finishing overall, you're really looking at a tee that costs $8 to make versus one that costs probably $14. The Givenchy markup is all because it's luxury or exclusive and they market as that. Tied into this, some countries that get a bad rap. China, India, and Mexico mainly aren't always bad. China, for example, is really good at technical clothing like windbreakers and sportswear plus plastic and acetate eyewear. Mexico makes really good leather shoes and boots. India is great at intricate woven fabrics. A lot of companies will produce in these countries because they have the setup to do these things on a large scale and would be significantly cheaper plus faster to produce than to do the same thing in a more reputable place like the USA would be equal or better quality too. Judge every product/brand on a case-by-case basis and don't generalize anything just because of the country it's made in. My brother works fine dining as a manager. Someone once wanted a sparkler on top of a dessert and the restaurant didn't want to do it. My brother said, "Sure, we can do that for $500. And the person did it. Now they have a box of sparklers available in the kitchen for requests and the restaurant gets $500 a pop. And once one dessert gets the showy sparkler walked through the dining room, past all the other couples celebrating, or bachelorette parties, or people who won big it's at a casino, then every woman wants to get a sparkler. Blows my mind. The VIP lounge access in nightclubs, it's basically milking a person with low self-esteem. Less common, but the most vile scam I've seen. I worked for a restaurant that wanted to be on a higher income shelf in the middle of a white men in finance and delays district. Very popular business breakfast spot. They had a huge oven near the expo, and you could see freshly baking sourdough bread. The oven was not actually baking. It was set on something like 40 degrees, so the bread was kept nicely warm, but definitely not freshly baked. We didn't even bake it on site. It was delivered in the morning and put in the oven as a display. If someone ordered bread and olives or charcuterie board from the menu, we would make a whole event of getting that bread out, slicing, arranging, and serving. You would then expect any other order that had bread in there to get this bread. Yeah, no. Any order, like things containing toast, full English, avocado toasts, etc., had generic Warburtons used. FOH staff had to deal with complaints about it left, right, and center. I lasted 3 weeks, the restaurant about a year more after I left. Perfect service is service you don't see but feel. I have been a high-end chauffeur for almost 30 years for the 1% of the 1%. Seamless and invisible as much as possible. Anticipation, discretion, and knowing the answer to all of the local questions. The guests assume you've been to the restaurant or venue before and know what you're doing, and you do. I've had to read the wiki on sports teams I know nothing about to anticipate the answers to questions the owners may ask me. Preparation. It pays and is an immensely satisfying job. It's that level of service that made the Ritz-Carlton famous. They let staff spend $2,000 per guest to make the experience better/resolve issues without needing manager approval. I had a friend that worked at the one in our city while in college. So many little details. Local newspapers shipped in for frequent travelers from a specific country. Dry cleaning taken out by the room cleaners, done, and returned by the time the guest returned. The chef at the restaurant would make off-menu foods for kids all the time. Anticipation of needs combined with tactful execution of the job seems like a reasonable and not overly materialistic way to want to be pleased, in my opinion. I can understand why the ultra-wealthy flock to businesses that provide these services. Private jet pilot here. Catering services. There's companies that, for a lack of a better word, cater specifically to the corporate jet world to provide food for aircraft that is delivered to the fixed-base operators for the departure. This is stuff like Asian salads for like $150 or a club sandwich for $80. These are rough estimates based on what our dispatch has told me. I've never personally ordered them, many of our Part 91. Owner flights, the aircraft owners are watching their expenses closely, and as such don't order these because it's a ridiculous waste of money to get Panera quality food for $150 when they could just ask us pilots to pick up Panera for them on the way to the aircraft. The people who don't realize this or care and will often run up over $1,000 for a handful of salads and sandwiches are those who charter the aircraft and get shafted by these companies or their broker. Hotels. The difference between a $75 room and $150 or $200 room is usually massive. The difference between a $200 room and an $800 plus room is a lot of small things that most people like, but wouldn't spend $600 plus on. That extra $600 is mainly to ensure that you only stay with other guests who are willing to pay $600 extra to avoid people who stay at $200 hotels. I would like to be able to pay extra to not stay with people like me. I worked in a couple of high-end luxury hotels you've definitely heard of in a major American city, and honestly, you really did get what you pay for. White glove service, excellent anticipation of needs, top quality ingredients, detailed dossiers on guests that enabled us to give them each a really special, personalized experience. Remember the starred restaurant? Yes, I drank the Kool-Aid scene from The Bear. Exactly that. Because it was real luxury. Real luxury isn't about being shiny or expensive or premium. It's about anticipating the guests' needs and having it ready for them before they even know they need it. It's about going the extra mile and making accommodations. To be honest, those were my favorite workplaces. And country clubs, but for similar reasons, the detailed high level of service offered. Edited to add, y'all got me going down memory lane now over here. I chefed at the Waldorf Astoria just before it closed for renovation. In the banquet kitchen, they had a banner over the entryway saying, "The difficult right now, the impossible in a little while." Let me tell you, the lifetime servers and butlers there embodied dignity and class. These were men who spent 50 years serving in positions of respect in the city's the finest hotels, at a time when that really meant something. We'll never have it again. I remember one of my cooks getting pissy about a substitution a guest wanted once, and he said, "Why don't they just tell them no?" I remember responding, "No? This is the Waldorf goddamn Astoria. We make dreams come true. You want to say no? You take that shit down the street to the DoubleTree. Sounds silly? I know. But a big portion of our restaurant guests were literally Ma and Pa Kettle on a bus tour from Iowa, who had spent their entire lives saving up for a trip to the big city. Prefixed 3-course meal at Peacock Alley included as part of the package. I felt a real responsibility to do well by them. Second edit? I'm crying, loving hearing everyone's experiences, and that this level of service is still appreciated. I had to get out of the industry a few years ago because PTSD. Everything you've heard about kitchens is real, and The Bear is a documentary, and the one thing I miss is luxury service, because it gave me a chance to have a personal impact and create a special experience that someone will remember for the rest of their lives. Also, all the oysters, foie gras, and caviar I could eat. I hope everyone gets to experience this level of service at least once in their lives. It's really magical. A friend of mine works on a luxury train, and this is very similar to what he says. He's either serving billionaires and celebrities or people who have saved up their entire lives for their trip. He's got 65 or maybe 85 required service steps for every guest every morning and passes the information along as needed. So if the guest in room 6 mentions that they woke up with a sore neck when he's asking how they slept as he pours their coffee, they'll find a pillow menu in their room later that day so they can choose a new pillow for that night. Hospitality at the highest level is about care and attention to detail. Sure, the people who are used to it don't really notice it happening, but the people who saved up for that trip, they notice it all. They feel special, and they get the trip of their lives because everybody helping them feels responsible for giving them the experience they dreamt of. On my first trip to New Orleans, my now husband, then very new boyfriend, took me to Commander's Palace, the restaurant that Emeril cut his teeth in. I had never been anywhere fancy at that time, and I was super nervous. This was pre-Katrina, so I have no idea if it's still the same. I know it got damaged badly. We did an 11 million course chef's choice meal with paired wines. Something like $350 a person for the food and another $200 for the wine pairings. Not sure if my memory is correct here. It was very expensive for where I was in life then, which was huge money in my mind at the time. Well, still is, but I'm more successful now. I'd still blink, but now I could blink without choking. Anywho, I was wide-eyed at the service from the right, removed from the left. The way even setting down our plates was timed out like a dance. The food. Oh my God. I tasted things I had never had or even heard of before. Foie gras. Raw rainbow trout, sliced so thin you could see through it like frosted glass. Lobster bisque paired with a South African sparkling wine. It took 3 hours and it was magic. Pure magic. At the end of the meal, the staff had apparently loved our lack of pretense and the fact that we ate every single strange thing that got set in front of us. They had listened to us talking together about the experiencing of it, the flavors, the beautiful plating. I swear the room itself seemed to glow with its patterned yellow wallpaper. We were more alive somehow, and the staff sensed how much fun we were having. The chef came out to meet us with signed menus of what he had made for us. I still have them. He was so dang pleased at our enjoyment. And then he gifted us dessert for free, which turned out to be 3 different experiments with strawberries, which were about to go out of season and were at peak ripeness. I will never forget it, ever. And I think the fact that it was not routine for us made it more fun for them too. Your post makes me think of that. Thank you for giving people these kinds of experiences. I can't recall a single face of the people who served us, including the chef, but I remember them vividly in how we felt. what we experienced, the tastes we savored, and the feeling that our enjoyment was special to everyone who was a part of it. I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable for the most part. As you get older and usually make more money in your career, your view of luxury often shifts from things to comfort or convenience. You also start to realize how true the time is money phrase is. Yeah, I could spend a couple of hours doing XYZ, but paying someone to do it gives me 2 hours of leisure. Yes, there's an overlap between things and comfort. Like when I had a job that required me to stand on my feet all day, a pair of $200 shoes was worth it. My ankles and knees weren't killing me, and they lasted longer. When you bust your ass for most of the year, being taken care of for a few days is worth a lot of money. Or spending a lot on something that makes your daily existence not as painful is worth it. Thanks for watching. A lot of the things that make us happy don't cost anything, but your like and subscription are priceless to me. Drop your stories in the comments. See you tomorrow. Big hugs.